What is up, YouTube? It is I, the Mohawk, and in a way, since I've been banned from live streaming due to that one moment when I accidentally played copyrighted material on my live stream, I guess I've been trying to find ways and ideas on how I can repopulate my channel on YouTube. And I kind of figured, you know what? Right after my streams, in between my streams, I could do this thing where I'm like reading news, and well, I wouldn't say I'm reading the news, more like I am also surfing the internet and coming across different types of news and stuff like that. And I'm basically giving my opinions about what I think about the news. Oh man, but anyways, so seriously. So I actually came across this article on the World of Buzz. It was actually shared by a friend of mine in regards to a study that says KL is the fourth most overworked city and ranks lowest in work-life balance. I gotta admit, I can't disagree with the sentiment because, you know, I've worked in KL before and I used to remember what it was like. You know, it was like 24-hour days and I was really stressed out, you know. And I remember that when I first moved back to Penang, I actually went for a health checkup, and it was kind of funny. I remember like going for a health checkup because I do one every single year. And the year before that, I was actually told that one of the problems I had was that I had high blood pressure, you know, possibly due to stress and whatnot. And apparently, after spending a couple of months moving back to Penang, I actually had low blood pressure, as in, like, you know, my stress levels was actually low, was actually a lot healthier. And, you know, I mean, when I'm reading this article and stuff like that, I guess it probably had to do with the lack of work-life balance. And actually, this study was actually done by the US-based company Casey, which specializes in all these access control technology, whatever. I mean, like, all basically smart people. Smart people that said this index is not designed to be a city livability index, nor is it intended to highlight the best cities to work in. Instead, it aims to be a guideline for cities to gauge their ability to fulfill residents' lives by improving the aspects of life that help relieve work-related stress and intensity. Which, thinking back, yeah, there were definitely a lot of work-related stress and intensity. Lots of it. I mean, the only caveat at the end of the rainbow is that Tokyo and Singapore and Washington is like a lot worse than Kuala Lumpur. But still, you know, a lot of stressed out people in KL. I mean, I remember all my friends, everybody I knew was constantly stressed with work, constantly working. I remember telling people, you know, in Penang that back in KL, you know, my life was my work. You know, everything was just like work related. The people I knew were people I saw at work. Things that I did to relax was all work related. It was just work, work, work all the time. And in regards to stats, Helsinki happens to be one of the best places with a good work-life balance, and people there work an average of 40.2 hours, and we in Kuala Lumpur actually work 46 hours. Basically, if you know anybody living in KL right now working and stuff like that, you know, I mean, give them a hug or something. They're probably definitely overworked right now on a Thursday. And then I also came across this other news by Forbes. GNG and Bumblebee team up for an all-female esports partnership. Now, this is pretty interesting. I'm going to read a little bit more. I mean, so far what this article is trying to say is that in the last Epic Games Fortnite World Cup, there was barely any women who competed, although they know that 35% of the 250 million players who play Fortnite are actually women. And basically, to answer the question why no women competed was because none actually qualified for the Fortnite competition. And apparently part of the reason is that women are afraid that they'll do bad or don't feel that they're skilled enough or that they'll be harassed. This was actually told by Fortnite player Tina Perez, known as Tina Rez. And now enter JNG, who signed Perez and another player, Madison Man, and created like the first female competitive Fortnite duos team in the world, which is pretty cool. And they also partnered up with the dating app Bumble to rebrand it as Gen G, empowered by Bumble. And Gen G CEO Chris Park actually acknowledged to Forbes that the gaming communities have long been oriented around men and been somewhat toxic for women to participate in and even watch. And they want to change that, which I think is a really great idea, because in my honest opinion, when it comes to gamers, there's no such thing as like a male gamer or female gamer. It's all the same, you know. And the fact that women don't have proper representation in esports actually leaves a vacuum where we need more women to participate. And I think that this team is actually a good idea, especially with the last Fortnite World Cup actually pulling in so much attention, so much money. And, you know, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, like, you know, what your physicality is, you know, as long as you have the mental capacity for it as well as the skill, you can play games and compete in esports. You know, esports is one of those things where the physical aspects, the biology doesn't come into play so much. And of course, it's just me reading some news and trying to fill in my time in between streams. Catch the next video here on my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/themohawk. Like and subscribe, and I'll be coming out with more content right here on YouTube.